Hi, my name is Justin Kapal. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Training with BATT3 Public Safety Solutions. We're here today to announce a major upgrade to Fire Roster for August 4th, 2025. Before we begin, I want to just read a quick statement. We want to begin by expressing our heartfelt gratitude to all of our clients and partners for the tremendous support you've shown over the past 4 weeks. 4 weeks ago, we experienced an unimaginable loss when one of our founding partners, John Morrison, was killed in the line of duty. John played a pivotal role in establishing BATT3 Public Safety Solutions and touched nearly every one of our clients and partners in some way. Your kindness and support during this time have meant more than words can express. We will never forget the impact John Morrison, along with Frank Harwood and Dave Tisdale, had on our lives, our careers, and this organization. With that said, we are excited to share some positive news. A major upgrade to Fire Roster is coming. Today we want to walk you through some of the most significant enhancements you can expect to see. One of the first major changes you're going to see when you log into Fire Roster is a new upgraded dashboard. So we've changed the colors, upgraded, and we've added a few widgets. If you go over to the gear icon, you can see some new widgets. We now have a flag status widget, weather, notes, staffing, some of the ones we've had before. You can drag them on your screen. The events has been cleaned up and updated, and you'll now be able to see the events on the daily roster screen as well as on your main dashboard here. Let's jump over to the daily roster. So on today's shift, this is where we're going to find a majority of our changes that we've made in this new version. So the biggest change, the one we're most excited about, is drag and drop. So if we take a firefighter from the left side and we drop them into a right side spot, it just drops them in there. We'll take Richie and we're going to drop him into an officer spot. You can see that it tried to split the shift, so it knows that there's more than one person in that spot. And you'll see we now have new slider bars that make it easier to edit the members within the shift. So if we're going to split this officer seat 3 times, let's just do it 2 times. I can remove 1. Richie's going to go 8 to 4:30. That means I want D. Lynch to go 4:30 to 8. And I hit save and it'll split that shift between the two. To hit just a couple of other changes that we've made for temporary resources, we'll go to today's shift, and then up here in this upper screen we could have add resource. And when you have events, you have the fair, you have a standby, you have a football school. So let's just say we're going to add brush 12 as a temporary resource, and let's choose August 3rd of 2025, and we're going to go from, it's a start time of 1 p.m. So we're going to start at 1 p.m. We'll just do the 4th, 2025 at 0800 a.m. Just for this example, I want to show on calendars. I want it to multiple signups. And again, like we talked about, you can allow self signups on this as well. We need to add 2 crew people. So we're going to add, we want an officer and we want a firefighter for this standby. We go up and we're going to hit save. And that was for August 2nd. So now if I go to August 2nd, you'll now see right here, brush 12 has been created. We allowed self signups, so that button's there. If you don't want to use self signups, if you want to use normal call outs, you can do that just like we do currently in Fire Roster to fill that brush truck spot. So that's the resource. It's now a little more smooth and a little easier to use. So now that we split that shift, we can also take, and if we take a back end Silas right here, for example, and if we want to drop him into an officer spot, it's going to say this member is not qualified to work in this position. So I can override that by clicking override, and it'll drop him into that spot, or hit cancel. It'll keep Silas on the left side of the screen, and it won't allow us to put him into a spot he's not qualified for. We now have color codes. So on this right side of the screen, you'll see we have blue. Blue means filled. So if there's somebody in the spot, it'll turn blue. If there's an empty spot that's not required, that's gray. And if we go down to, let's scroll down to engine 2. Engine 2 has a red square. Red means it's a required position and unfilled. So you can see on engine 2 we have gray. That's a firefighter position that's not required and not filled. Blue means it's a filled position. Red means it's a required position and not filled. That'll turn blue once you put somebody into that spot. And we also have orange. Orange means that we're over covered for that day. So if I click the edit spot, you'll notice that I have 2 people working 8 to 8, so the same assignment in that one spot. So that turns orange. It's kind of just a hey, you might want to look at this position because there's too many people working in a spot. So those are the 4 colors that you'll get on this roster side. We have lots of filtering options now. Before we couldn't filter this right side as well. We've added a lot of filters, so you can go and filter just by shift, just by battalion. If you have 2 shifts, a lot of departments have a white shift and then a B shift. And if a white shift being an admin shift usually, and they'll show up on this right side unless I filter them out. So I can now filter out so I just see the shift that I want to edit, and it really cleans up this right side of the screen for you. Aside from just filtering, if you go over to the right side and you click on settings, you'll now notice that we have a lot of, these are actionable items that you can physically see. So if I click default shift, for example, you can see that I now get a blue color over here. If I had a red shifter working today on this schedule, they'll have a red circle. Or if I had a green shifter working on today, they would have a green circle. So you can now see what shift colors their default shifts are by clicking on that. If you click on phone numbers, it adds a spot where a phone number pops up. So if you have a member that has entered a phone number, it'll pop up here on this side. When you're in these settings, you'll notice that we've added a phone number checkbox here. If you click on that phone number checkbox, when you build a resource, so when I build BC1, for example, I can put a phone number for that apparatus in the resource, and that will be the default phone number that pops up here. If you don't have a phone number for the specific resource, then it defaults to the top of the list. So the highest ranking in order you have here, it'll default to their phone number showing up here. So in the same settings icon over here on the right, you'll notice qualifications. That will pop up what each member's qualified for. So as I show this on here, you notice that Richie is the ALS provider, and at the top on the resource, it's showing that we have a ALS provider. Battalion 1, this guy's a tech. So their resources can show if you're interested to see who's qualified at what. You just click on that, and then rank over on the left side. You'll see their actual rank that they are. We can turn that off, and it shows next to their name. So the carpenter is a captain, and he's working in the E1 officer spot. In order to clean up, you can remove as many of those as you'd like, or click the ones on that you want. One of the things we've been asked about a lot are for signing up for shifts. We do have an availability calendar coming out shortly after this release. It won't be in this release. It is coming out shortly after. However, for this one, we did work on self-signups. So for self-signups, it's kind of a 3-part process. Initially, you need to make sure that in general settings, self-signups is turned on for your department. And then in the resources, we need to make sure that we're allowing self-signups for that resource. So for this instance, we'll do engine 3. we're gonna, down here there's a checkbox, signups enabled. We wanna make sure that's checked. And we'll go to, let's go to a date in the future. Let's go to August 21st. And you'll now notice right here next to Engine 3, you'll see 3 sign up buttons. Because I'm logged in and I'm qualified to work as an officer, an engineer, and as the back end, I can sign up for any of the 3 shifts. So I can go in, click sign up. I want to sign up. Here's the time and date. I want to sign up for that shift on the 21st. I click accept, and now my name is on the list for that. So the next person that logs in, they want to sign up for a shift, they see that my name's already on this one and that these 2 spots are open for that day. I do have the ability to remove myself. Right now, you can only remove yourself if you're further out than 7 days in advance. Notice that's so that you don't have a last minute somebody removing themselves the day before the shift. So that's self signups. A lot of departments are going to make, they have a self sign up for a station. So this resource would be called Station 2, and they want self sign ups for volunteers at Station 2. So we built that resource as that station as a resource. And then under that resource, we would allow self signups under that. And the settings for self signups, again, are in the general settings. And as we scroll down to self signups, and right here is where most of those settings are. One of the things that we've changed is upcoming events. So when you add an event, and you'll see we have a golf tournament. That golf tournament date is the 16th. So we've added it to the 16th. So we have a Battalion 3 golf tournament. We're partnered with Tailored Containers coming up on the 16th. If you go to the daily view, you'll notice that we've now added events here. So any event that you've added on your main screen in that event widget will now also show up on your daily view. So when you're in here, you're looking at your people, seeing who's working for the day. You just kind of have notification that you have events on those days as well. One of the other major changes that we've made to this new version is payroll. You'll notice we now have a payroll icon. And inside of that, you can now create pay periods and accrual banks. So if we create a pay period, and we'll just create one, you can see there's a couple already built, so we'll open those up. So during this pay period, this was 12/12 to 12/24. And there's hours on the right. Details of each person's work history is in there for that pay period. We can finalize the pay period, and we can now add accrual banks for each pay period. So as we add an accrual bank, here's one that's been added. Vacation, 5 hours. We want it each pay period. You can edit that to auto accrual, and we want it monthly, yearly, last day of the month, last day of the year, each pay period. So you can choose what you want for that bank. It gets added to each member. If we go to settings, members, and let's just pick a name right here. And in their member profile, there's now a accrual section. So they'll be able to see what accruals they have and how often they get it. If you're an administrator, you can edit the accrual bank in that member profile manually. Otherwise, you won't have access to edit it. But we now have payroll and accrual banks built in to each member's profile. Another feature that I know we use a lot in our department is the notes section. Little change in that. If you just start, so let's just pick a name. Oliver is 4th off position. That's how we use it. It now auto saves, so you don't have to save the note, click the save button. You can just type in the note and it'll auto save to that spot. Today we just mostly wanted to go through the major changes that you're going to see in Fire Roster. We've listened to our clients over the last year. We've tried to incorporate as many of those changes as we could. We are still working on new features as well. So as soon as we get this launch out, this launch is August 4th, We're hoping to follow it up. We're updating the call-out screen as well. That you should see that call-out update coming shortly after this launch. We have a lot of other major things in the works with Battalion 3 Public Safety Solutions. We have a BATT3 responder coming out. We're updating ICX. Most of you guys use both of those programs. We're excited. We want to thank you for being clients with us. And if you have any issues during this launch, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us at information@bat3.com. You can reach out to me directly, Jay Capal, JCAPAUL, @bat3.com. Thank you.